Longtime educator Craig Douglas here for our Educating Mid-Michigan segment this morning. Today we continue our conversation from last week on social media, mental health, and really why is this topic at the forefront for you and why did you want to carry on this conversation?
Good morning, Matt. Yes, I was privileged to attend a two-day conference at Saginaw Valley a couple weeks ago. Heard a bright young lady named Bailey Parnell share some research that she's done on social media. Now, these devices are relatively new, and so we're learning, pluses and minuses. She's not against social media, but she had many, many ideas to share. I would encourage viewers to look at her website for a robust listing of pitfalls to avoid, and then what I'm going to highlight today are some strategies for parents to consider. I want to emphasize consider. We're not telling parents what to do, but these are strategies they may want to think about employing to try and limit the negative fallout of social media.
Yes, like you said, it's kind of playing out in real time. Let's talk about limitations because, it does seem like goodness, kids even in kindergarten these days may have a phone. Talk about limiting device access. What kind of impact does that have?
A couple things that she suggests I hadn't really thought of, Matt. One is perhaps consider changing passwords on Wi-Fi at home periodically to kind of as a check and balance in terms of all users in the household, not just adolescents. Also consider perhaps, depending upon your Wi-Fi system, maybe limiting what room or rooms in the house have access to it. So it's not just like the Wild West, and it's more controlled. I thought those were very interesting strategies to suggest to parents.
What about wait until 8? It's kind of catchy, easy to remember.
I highlight one of your viewers, my good friend Kathy Stewart, who was superintendent in Chesaning schools and then later at Saginaw Intermediate School. She saw the segment last week and said, Craig, do you know about wait until 8? Parnell didn't highlight this, but I thought this was a great tag along to what she had to say. Wait until 8, Matt, is a pledge. And the pledge is simple. It says, I'm going to wait until my kid is in 8th grade or completes 8th grade before I give them an iPhone or other social media devices. The idea being that through middle school, maturity starts to set in, and then choices can be made. One of Parnell's pitches too was periodically spot check where kids are on social media, what kind of texts they're receiving, what websites they're visiting. That kind of ties into the maturity aspect that Kathy offered. So
Sure.
I want to thank Kathy publicly and acknowledge Bailey for her good insight and her fine research.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like you mentioned the maturity factor. The fact is kids' brains are still developing and they're very impressionable, right?
Very much so. I think we all can be led astray. We've heard stories of adults that have been misled by text messages or websites. Well, think about adolescents and those choices. We want to keep kids safe and we want to help them educate and move forward. And so these are just pitfalls to avoid, strategies to consider.
Great considerations there. Again, our thanks to Dr. Craig Douglas for his insight. And as always, if you have any education-related questions, feel free to email us. The email is goodmorning@abc12.com.